ask you, if you took 2 NBA superstars of your choice and you let them play against like a WNBA season, 2 versus 5, so the women's team gets 5, and it's like LeBron and Giannis, or, Giannis and Kawhi, whatever. You get to pick the 2 superstars. And there was no cherry picking, so you couldn't pass half court till the ball passed half court. Out of a 50-game regular season, let's just say, what would their record be?
So you're saying they have to be superstars? You can't just pick. Wouldn't
you rather pick superstars? No, I'm talking about, because again, 2 versus 5 is not easy.
Blaine?
They wouldn't lose a game.
You don't think they'd lose a game?
If LeBron James and Giannis played 2 versus 5 for a half with no cherry picking, they would have. Okay.
What about you take out the cherry picking? Just normal rules.
Not even the LeBron. What is stopping Giannis? Nothing. The height, the differential, nothing. So they're scoring every time. And if it's me and I'm playing and I'm LeBron, so I just pass it to Giannis, I'll probably go back, and I'm playing someone in the paint down there, they're not scoring in the paint. I don't care if they run the best transition offense ever. It's not happening.
What about
then I force you to shoot threes, and I'll take Giannis's percentage on dunking on WNBA players making threes.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. I don't know if they lose.
So the cherry picking is like that you're implementing.
It's almost like offside.
Offside rule. Exactly.
Yeah, like
that's what it is.
All right. So what about without that? Just normal basketball rules. Is there a way
they lose a couple games?
They lose a couple. Somebody just stand on the other
lose a couple.
Yeah. Or you'd have to just send one player forward.
That's a good one.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is going to join us shortly to talk about his baseball career. He was a heck of a player at Yale, but the importance of sports and whether or not Tom Brady will win another Super Bowl in Florida's own Tampa Bay. I'm Jake Crane. It's Flaming Dragon Friday. You know what time it is. Ron DeSantis is about to join us, but right before he does, I want to talk about the GOAT that is Tom Brady as he is approaching 45 years of age and continuing to prove he's the closest thing to Benjamin Button that we have or probably will ever see. He's been able to defy Father Time and seems to only get better with age, like a fine wine. But the real question is, will he add another Super Bowl to his already sterling resume? I say yes. And to sleep on Tom Brady is dangerous in its own right. But just by looking at the tape, he still really checks all the physical boxes to be able to guide an offense to a Super Bowl in today's game. His arm's still capable of fitting the ball into tight windows. He rarely gets hit, but when he does, he pops right back up and hustles to the next spot. And his mental acuity on the field is still only rivaled by Rain Man in a casino as he continues to put his offenses in good situations pre-snap. Now, the Buccaneers already have a team around him that I think is capable of winning a Super Bowl, whether it's Wirfs at tackle, Mike Evans out wide, and Tom has won Super Bowls with much less talent on the roster than he does right now. So long story short, Brady isn't done winning Super Bowls, and don't be surprised if he actually ends up winning a couple more before he truly does become Benjamin Button and turns into a toddler. We appreciate you guys joining us. As a former number 12 at Michigan, Cone,
look,
how many do you think Tom's got? Number one, how long do you think he plays, and how many Super Bowls has he got left in the tank or whatever chamber he goes home and breathes in that alien air?
Well, look, I just appreciate any time we're talking about Michigan quarterbacks. They're a different breed, so thank you for that. How much longer does he play? I mean, look, I'm done with the betting against Tom Brady situation.
It's not a smart
It's like
game.
Nick Saban. It's not a good move. Does he get another one? Again, yes, he wins another. He wins it every year for the rest of his time playing because I'm done with the betting against Tom Brady situation. Well, I was thinking about this when considering the greatest ever at a certain craft. Longevity is such a key factor. Tom Brady could have retired a decade ago, right? He would still be a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He would still be in the conversation to be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. But because of his ability to be wholly integrated with his strategy of nutrition and diet and sleep to be able to play this long, he told us he was going to play until 45. And Max Kellerman and everybody else, everybody laughed at him. And the first interception he would throw every season, they'd say he's done. And look, he's playing until he's 45, and he's still winning at a high level. I mean, I'm looking at these numbers here. Of course, he had the most yards and the most touchdowns in the league last season. But in today's age, throwing for the most yards is not a great metric to determine quarterbacks, right? I always talk about completion percentage and touchdown to interception ratio. He was 67.5 in completion percentage last season, which is the highest he's had in the last 14 years. 3.5 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio, highest in the last 4 years, including higher than when he won the Super Bowl. So, whereas I think Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player of all time, but because LeBron James has been able to play at such a high level for such a long time, it ends up being a conversation between Blaine and myself. Tiger Woods, I think most people would consider he's the greatest golfer of all time, but because he hasn't had the same level of success the last decade of his career as he had the first decade, people are always going to say, well, look what Jack Nicklaus was able to do. Sure. But I think Tom Brady has removed himself from even being in a conversation.
Well, I've never seen somebody be in their prime for so long. I mean, you talk about longevity and success. If I'm going to build a mathematical formula to find the greatest ever, it's probably going to be longevity, success over championships divided by, how many friends you made. I don't know. But it is unbelievable. And when you're on a diet that involves just eating coral and drinking the tears of gypsies.
Is that what it is?
I guess this is what happens, Blaine. Does Tom win another one?
I mean, I agree with David. Why would I bet against him at this point? I know. Well, the good thing about it is like he's keeping his number one receivers. I mean, they got Godwin, Chris Godwin back. You're going to keep Mike Evans. No one knows about Gronk. We'll see about Gronk. I think he retires. I would agree with you.
They still have tight ends.
Yeah. You got to think, who did they lose to last year in the playoffs? The Super Bowl champion. Matt Stafford.
And had to lead a game-winning drive.
Yeah, I know. So I wouldn't bet against Tom. The good thing about it, their defense will stay intact somewhat. Their defense at this point in the NFL needs to be good enough to at least get a good amount of turnovers. We saw the Bengals defense. That wasn't great. Started playing a lot better in the playoffs, but created a lot of turnovers. And that's how you win games if you're not a phenomenal defense. But at this point, I don't know why anybody would bet against Tom Brady. The dude's found the key to the secret lock. I mean, his whole life, his whole career has been his prime.
Yeah, it's true. Well, and two, when you watch him, and I brought this up, I want to see what the Booster Club thinks. We'll hit them in a second before we get Governor DeSantis in here. But when you watch the way he operates, like there is from a timing, from how quick he's making a decision to the when the ball's getting out, where the ball's getting thrown, he's still obviously very effective in the vertical game, in the intermediate game, in the short game. But I always go back to what a buddy of mine, Dave Tollefson, former defensive end, was with Strahan at the Giants, when they won the 2 Super Bowls there with Eli. What he always told me, because when we were coaching together, I'd always ask him, to you out there on the field or just watching it now that your career is over, which quarterbacks gave you the most problems and why? And he said Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. And you're like, well, duh. But he's like, not for the reason you think. He's like, the reason that they are so effective is because typically there are not greedier people on the planet than quarterbacks and offensive coordinators. And I got a lot of offensive coordinator buddies out there. I love them. You were a quarterback. Y'all are greedy people. I'm sorry. In this sport, y'all are the greediest people. And it's so hard for a quarterback and an offensive coordinator to nickel and dime and be patient and actually really take what the defense is giving them all the way down the field. And he used to say, what used to kill me? We'd have everything covered up, and they would spit it down to the check down or spit it down to the spot, or they'd hit the tight end on the hitch or a little bit of out, a little bit of option route, depending on who's on them, how are they squared up, or the inside shade, outside shade. And he's like, they would just do it all the way down the field. They had no problem getting 4 yards at a time. Because most of the time, after about 3 or 4 plays, that offensive coordinator's like, all right, we got to dial it up, or the quarterback's like, yeah, the second read becomes the first read. We're going deep. So when I look at what Tom's been able to do, he has not lost a step to me. Yeah. It's just unbelievable to see. And again, I know he sleeps in a bubble with air from Jupiter.
Cryogenic chamber.
That's whatever it is, whatever they put Austin Powers in to freeze him, and then he had to go back and get his mojo. But Tom Brady, to me, again, I think Benjamin Button is the best example that I can use. Because it's like the dude's getting younger. 67.5 completion percentage, his highest in 14 years. Yeah, 13. He's not getting
14,
worse.
Yeah, 14.
It's unbelievable.
One comment on the check down here before people just think they can check the ball all the way down.
That's not what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? That only works when you have the ability to blow the top off the defense or throw the whole shot to the field, right? And you think somebody who's 45 years old, how are you still throwing whole shots to the field? How are you still hitting receivers in stride 55 yards down the field? When you have that ability, and that's always a threat, or we're talking about tight end threat, for him, he throws the seam route better than anyone, right? Off the play action. When you have that ability, now all of a sudden those check down routes to a lot of the backs he had in New England, or even a lot of the slot stuff they're doing down in Tampa Bay, is then effective.
That's very true. You can't build it from front to back like that. I agree 100%. And as a defensive guy, I am much more worried about you torching me on the post. Are you torching me on the vert? Are you double moving me with Tom Brady? But even the digs, I mean, the intermediate, passing game is so
I mean, I wouldn't say Tom Brady throws a bad ball when it comes to anything, whether it's a deep ball, the dig, the seam route. And you saw it now, and they started with the Patriots. The Patriots almost kind of started this movement, and you see it a lot more now in the league today, just flaring it out to the back.
Why do you think they started that? Who's their head coach? the smartest defensive guy there is, and he knows. He knows. He's like, what would give me the most problems?
Yeah, you're basically, and I know it comes down to the downs and yardage, but if it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 and less right now, you're seeing clear out routes. Let's get our back in space. You make one guy miss, and even if you don't get it, you get 3 to 4, and it gives you the chance to go to 4th down. You're seeing this so much in the league now. It's just flare, clear out. And I know you have to be able to take the top off. You have to be able to make them worry about that, but still, I do think there's times now that they immediately know we're clearing this out and we're getting it to the back. We're getting it to the back to make a play.
Well, a lot of those plays, and you look at like bubbles and swings,
leverage,
stuff like that. Well, they're glorified runs is what they are. You're trying to get the ball out quick. I mean, you get a bubble out quicker and you hand it off from under center if you really want to be honest about it. So it's so interesting to me to continue to see him. And another thing about Tom is that he took, he was Patriots guy, right? Patriots system, Bill Belichick's guy. He showed that he could go somewhere else and be able to win it. And I do think Tom Brady is still the best I have ever seen at extending the play within the pocket.
Okay.
Being able to have that feel and that instinct in the pocket to be able to not only step up and throw, but step laterally and throw, because he's not going to sit there and Patrick Mahomes you and spin you out, or Russell Wilson you and keep the play going for, 7, 8 seconds. He knows he's got to get that ball up pretty quick. But when it comes to being able to step up, when it comes to having feel of where that end is, he makes the tackles look good sometimes because he can save them, and it's almost kind of like he's like Daredevil, he's the blind superhero that can see. It's like he's got sonar coming out of his ears.
All right, Travis Elrod, is Aaron Rodgers the only QB in NFL history that has more raw talent than Tom Brady?
Well, I don't think Tom Brady's is pure raw talent. I think if you put Tom Brady on the athleticism, raw talent scale of all NFL quarterbacks ever, he's way down the list.
I agree.
But it goes to show you that it's an all-encompassing thing. He's able to make his teammates better, and he's athletic enough and he's smart enough that mental acuity I was talking about makes you more athletic. It almost replaces that because it's timing, right? Tom gets the ball out quick and he reads the whole field. I'm a lot more deadly, and this is what I worry about with Malik Willis, and it's going to take him some time to be able to read the whole field, because if you can read the whole field, you can find where I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. So I think you've got to look at it. He's just athletic enough.
Yep.
He's just on that fringe of being athletic
There
enough.
are dozens and dozens of quarterbacks who have had more raw talent, which makes what Tom Brady has done even more impressive.
That's exactly right.
And when I was at Michigan, our OC, Scott Loeffler, had us watch Tom Brady's freshman tape compared to his junior and then senior year tape when they were playing against Alabama, and he's throwing that game-winning touchdown with someone right in his face, breaking down like how basically he progressed each year. And it was amazing to see how he got better every season. And now you look at it, after a 20-year NFL career, we're talking about someone who's almost 45, has continued to still find little ways to improve his game. It's almost like next year I'll be better at football than I was the year before, even though I've won more Super Bowls than any single franchise in history.
Exactly. Well, it's like on Wolf of Wall Street. We're about to get the governor in here, but like on Wolf of Wall Street, when he sits them down, if you got all the quarterbacks in the room and you sat him down and he was like, sell me this pen. You go up to the fastest guy, sell me this pen. Well, it's a good pen. It looks good. He goes to Tom Brady. He's like, sell me this pen. He takes a pen and goes, hey, write my name down. Like, Tom Brady's that guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy that figures out. He's the guy that's doing the Rubik's Cube without looking, like Helen Keller style. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get in. Governor Ron DeSantis, former team captain at Yale. We're not talking any politics. We're talking straight baseball, a little bit of football as well. Going to talk some TB12. The governor of the great state of Florida, Ron DeSantis. Enjoy. All right, very excited to welcome in former Yale standout baseball player. I'm going to preface that first. And current governor of the great state of Florida, Mr. Ron DeSantis. Governor, I appreciate you coming on, my friend. It's good to get you on.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Definitely, and I want to jump right in. I know you're a little busy around this time of year, really all the whole year when it comes down to it. But, we talk about on this show how sports is a teacher of life, how team sports are a teacher of life, how it can affect you growing up, learn to work with other people. How has athletics shaped you and in your life up to this point? Is there still some things you go back to? Are there lessons that you've learned every day kind of in your normal routine?
Well, I think there's probably two things that I come back to. One, when I was 12, my Little League team out of Dunedin, Florida, made it all the way to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Okay. So, back then there were 4 American teams. So we had to win local, sectional, state, Southern region with 13 states, and then go to the World Series. But what we did at the start of that season was underneath the bills of our cap, we had an abbreviation, WWT, which stood for We Want Taiwan, which at the time, Taiwan was the machine in Little League Baseball. You know, now it turns out that's because they had 13 and 14-year-olds playing instead of 12-year-olds. But put aside that, that's just kind of the nature of it. We didn't know any better. So our goal was to get to Williamsport, and we did. And, you know, we didn't win the entire thing, but I think that showed me that, you know, if you set a goal and you work every day, that you can accomplish really big things. And I think the other thing is just when you're playing really seriously, high school, college, or beyond, it does take a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of work, and you got to put work into it to be better. So as when I was done playing sports, I remember, you know, I had played baseball through college. I would do obviously schoolwork and work hard there. I had some jobs to try to make ends meet. I remember I got to Harvard Law School. Everyone said, oh, it's just so tough, first year of law school. I never had so much time on my hands in my life because I wasn't playing sports anymore. And so that really helped me. And then when I was being in the military too, I would say those two things, just in terms of work ethic and discipline, absolutely. As a governor, I'm out there every day doing stuff. People say, oh, why don't, you know, you need to rest more. You're everywhere. But, you know, that's just really the way I know how to operate. I think it does go back to athletics.
Without a doubt, and it's something obviously in society we kind of all cling to. We all have our favorite teams and things like that. And I'm a firm believer in people want structure. I mean, after being in coaching, people want structure. Sports provides that structure, that routine, that schedule that you get used to and you get used to working. But you know, Governor, you said you played baseball in college. You didn't just play baseball. You hit 336 senior year, captain of the team. You know, as a guy that played college baseball myself, there's a certain pitch that I found the hardest to hit. And I wanted to ask you, when you got in the box, what was the pitch that gave you the most trouble, and why was it a slider?
Well, look, I think that the difference between when you go from high school to Division I, you start to run into more pitchers that, you know, look, I could hit a fastball, throw me 94, 95, and I faced guys that got picked in the first round, people that pitched in the big leagues. I never had any problem hitting them if they tried to throw it past me. But if they threw a really tight slider low and away, it's just the type of thing that's a really difficult thing to hit. I would also say probably if you face a pitcher that has a really, really good changeup, and it's rare because it's a tough pitch, that is very difficult. I mean, if someone threw me a 2-0 changeup, that got me all out of whack. I mean, it's just the way it was.
Definitely. Well, pitching backwards, you get to that level. I remember my first at bat in college. It was 2-0 against Matt Jackson. I was sitting on a fastball. He threw me a cutter, and I about dislocated both my shoulders swinging at it. And the third base coach just looked at me and clapped his hands. But that back foot slider, if you're a righty with that lefty throwing that slider, or you're a lefty with the righty, that back foot slider, I saw Matt Olson strike out on it last night.
Yeah. But look, I mean, many consider the act of hitting a baseball to be the most difficult feat in sport. So what was your philosophy and your mindset when you stepped into the batter's box, and have those instinctual reps aided you in the political arena?
So what I would try to do is, I think the times when I got out of whack at the plate was when I would just get too quick and try to make a decision really quick right out of the pitcher's hand. The times I hit well, I would really focus on watching the ball, try to get as close to me as possible before I made the decision to swing. And so some of the times where I had my best streaks, you know, I'd be hitting a lot of doubles to right center, hitting balls to center, left center, really that part of the field. If I was hitting a lot of pitches down the third baseline or fouling balls off, then that told me I was probably a little too quick. And so when you're letting the ball get on you, I had quick enough hands I could get around on a fastball. It allows you to adapt and react when they're throwing off speed pitches. You know, typical 12-6 curveball, pretty easy to see right out of the pitcher's hand. But when you start talking about these sliders or some of these changeups, you know, the quicker decision you make, the more peril you're going to have if you guess wrong.
No doubt. Now, Governor, I'm on record around here as stating that The Natural is my favorite film. I can still remember the first time I watched it with my father. What is your favorite baseball movie?
Good question.
You know, I'll tell you, I mean, I would say The Natural would be up there. I would say Field of Dreams would be up there. as well. I think that those were both really, really great movies as a kid growing up. I think The Natural was probably the early 80s. I think Field of Dreams was probably the late 80s, but those had a big impact. I thought they were both really well done.
Love it.
Hey, Governor, we saw Tom Brady retire and decide to come back out of retirement, which no one was surprised by. Do you think that Tom Brady, before he retires for the second time, can have another Super Bowl under his belt?
Well, just for full disclosure here, when you're governor, anything that goes wrong in the state, your political opponents will attack you for. And so, that's just the nature of, well, look, I was governor and he unretired. I was governor when he decided to come to Tampa, and then I was governor when he unretired. And so I will take credit in part for creating a great environment that certainly Tom has been an outstanding addition to the state. And I think they absolutely can win. I mean, I think if you look back, that Rams game was not a good first half in the playoffs. Tom brought him back. I thought it was going to overtime in the Rams. It was really a stake in the heart. Rams had a really good football team. I mean, I can take it either way. But I really believe if the Bucs would have taken that to overtime, somehow beat the Rams, I think they would have been favored to beat the 49ers and win the Super Bowl against the Bengals. Now, I'm partisan on this, but I do. And I think Tom believes that. I think he thinks they were really close to repeating. And if you think about it, the team was banged up going into the playoffs. They were not at full stretch, but Tom had one of the best seasons of his career at age 44. And so the guy doesn't slow down. So I think one of the reasons he decided to come back, because I think he looked at the landscape, he looked at where the strengths were across the league, and he said, why not us? We make some additions, go in at full strength. I do think he's been happy with their decision with the new head coach. So I think it's going to be all systems go, and I think they've got a really, really good chance to win another Super Bowl. And, I think if he would have won the Super Bowl this past year, he probably would have retired because he would have gone out on top. But this gives him another chance to do it. And how amazing would that be if he goes out with an 8th Super Bowl, at age, 45? I mean, there's really been nobody like him in the history of sports.
He's Benjamin Button.
Yeah,
to be honest.
He really is. But the little spare time that you have, I heard you do like to get on the golf course a little bit. I'm somewhat of an avid golfer myself. British Open this weekend. Do you have a certain player that you like to win it all?
I don't, just because I haven't been able to follow the tournaments this year as much as I usually. I pretty much root for any of the guys out of Jupiter, which is a lot of really good players. So you got guys like Dustin Johnson, Koepka. I mean, there are a lot of really, really good players there. I'll tell you, anyone that likes golf, taking a trip over to St. Andrews is worth it. It's a really special place. This was prior to me being in politics. My wife and I went over there and we played the course together, and we were able. It's right in the middle of town. It's really a unique thing. And so I love the Open Championship, period. But when it's at St. Andrews, that's as good as it gets.
Speaking of golfers, we have a clip, Governor, of a family member of yours that looks like he may be playing in the British Open here pretty soon. Let's go ahead and run that clip if we have it. All right, so there he is, hitting it. The great ball strike in there, Governor DeSantis. When you look at it, obviously, probably got that from you. Pretty good striker of the ball yourself. How much fun is it to be able to go out there with the family and be able to watch them grow up? And I'm starting to think our first child, boy or girl, I played baseball and football. My dad never wanted me to play football. I may just put a set of golf clubs in their hands and say, go ahead, let's get after it. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a great decision. I didn't play golf growing up. I played baseball. I played other sports too, but baseball is my main thing. And people think, if you can swing, you're obviously going to do well in golf. Well, from a club head speed perspective, maybe, but it's a different swing.
Way different.
And you got to learn how to control the ball off the club face. And that took me a while. I didn't start playing until I was in my 20s with golf. Took me a while. And then if I don't play a lot, I kind of have to get back in the groove. The people that play from very young age, they get the muscle memory, and they will always be much better players as a result of that. So my son, it's interesting. I'm a firm believer in baseball that you hit left-handed. I think that the left-handed has such an advantage. And so when my son, as soon as he could walk, he wanted to hit things, I put a bat in his hand left-handed.
Nice.
But with golf is really built for right-handers. The courses are designed for right-handers. Obviously, it's easier to get clubs, all that. So I wanted him to play golf righty, and so he did that. Well, it was a little discombobulating. So I said, all right, do righty with golf, do righty with baseball. So he's so keyed in on golf that now in baseball, he's actually a switch hitter. So he'll do both righty and lefty. And what we do is, if you guys were to visit the Florida Governor's Mansion, you walk into the front door, you look to the left, we've got a tee, a bucket of baseballs, we got bats, we've got gloves. We will just put the tee right in front of the front door, and he smacks them, and my daughters do too. They smack it into the front yard. But he's really good in and here's what he does in golf. I'll hit the ball in the fairway. Well, usually I'll drive the ball. Hopefully it's in the fairway. I'll tee him up where my drive ended up. He hits his driver, and then I hand him the iron, and he will hit the iron until he gets it on the green. Then you hand him his putter. He will not take any gimme putts. He has to putt it all the way in. And if you try to give him a gimme putt, he does not.
Well, that's funny you say that, because I'm the exact opposite. I will take every gimme that you will give me on the course.
No, I mean, me too. I mean, I think he doesn't understand. It's a good thing. And I'll tell you, I benefit more than anyone. I mean, when I was in the Navy, I'd get decent gimmies because people appreciated you were serving. Then when I got elected to the Congress, my gimmies got a little bit bigger in terms of the circle. Well, in Florida, I get 10-foot gimmies. It's good, Governor. It's good. No one wants to make me putt it out when I'm in the state of Florida. So I'll take it.
Well, we love to play. We love to play golf sometime. I'll give you 6 feet, Governor, because I know you can absolutely have that feel and that touch. But another cool thing you guys have going is this baseball card auction, DeSantis baseballcardauction.com. I know they're launching Friday, July 15th. I think your last baseball card sold out in May. They sold at a maximum bid. Now, the military cards you're having now with the boot piece and the signature via the online auction, the 25 regular military baseball cards, and you can bid on them at DeSantisBaseballCardAuction.com. It's such a cool thing. How did you guys come up with that, and how excited are you to keep seeing the momentum rolling on this thing?
Well, we've got the people love the memorabilia, and they love different merchandise. And so we wanted to do something that people actually could collect. And I grew up collecting cards, and so something that I understood. So when we did it, we did 500 regular baseball cards of me. We did 25 autograph, and then we did 10 autograph with a relic. And the relic we used was a piece of the old boots that I would wear back when I was running for governor, which was fine. Well, when I was getting the boots out of the closet to give to make the card, I noticed I had like 3 pairs of my old desert camouflage boots for when I served in Iraq, 10, 15 years ago. And so I said, maybe we do a military one. And so what we're going to be on with DeSantisBaseballCardAuction.com is actually DeSantis baseball card autographed, me in the Iraq uniform, military fatigues, and then the relic will be a piece of the actual boots that I wore in Iraq 2007, 2008, a long time ago. And so, and there's only going to be 10 of them. And so people will be able to bid on them but we had a lot of interest. And so the fact that I still have 2 pairs left. So I figured, why not throw one in the hopper? So we're able to do that. And I think there'll be a lot of interest. It's a really unique collectible.
I've never seen somebody do that like that before. It's really smart, really cool. And again, thank you for your service, Governor, going over there and protecting our freedoms. And we need it now more than ever. But we really appreciate having you on. As a baseball guy to a baseball guy, I wanted to kind of get in your head because 336, that's hitting the pebble a little bit.
You're doing well.
That's raking the potato.
You're doing well in the bottom.
But Governor, I really appreciate it. If you're ever in Nashville, we'd love to have you on. You can come in here in the studio. We got a nice little setup here. Fourth chair. I'd sleep here if they'd let me. It's the man cave to end all man caves. But I cannot thank you enough for your time. I know you're a very busy man.
All right. Hey, thanks, guys.
All right. Well, one of our favorite interviews. And I will say, maybe I'll give him 7 feet on the gimme putt.
You give him
I don't know. That's a lot.
Where's the extra foot coming from?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just feeling.
Look, you put the club in the hole.
Put the club in the hole?
Put the club in the hole?
Yeah, you lay it down.
You're measuring it?
You lay it down, you measure it. That's how you
yeah.
Put it out.
Where else
I'm
was
with
that
his
going,
son.
boys?
I'm with this son.
Look,
put it out.
Pretty good.
His son's already better than me at golf.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The baseball cards are such a good idea,
too. You put it out. you know, and then if you hit a 7, you just write down a 3 and cheat like a normal person.
No, that's exactly right. You cheat like an American should.
Nothing more than a double bogey.
You pencil whip them every chance you get. That's my
awesome,
handicap. Other than mental, it's 35.
But 336 from the batter's box, though.
Look,
come on, man. You're seeing the ball well.
Look, and you could tell by the way he was talking about baseball. Only baseball players.
Yeah. You can't come in there and make that stuff up. I mean, obviously, the women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. But great interview. Really excited to get him on again. Go down there, maybe play a little golf. Hopefully, don't embarrass myself.
I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
Florida, a lot of water.
A lot of water.
Water.
Me, I know. I have more golf balls in that water. Yeah. They pulled more of Jake's drives out of water in Florida than anywhere. But real quick, Blaine, Booster Club before we go to the break.
Okay, let me get in here. All right, Travis Elrod says, my 6-year-old soccer team, aptly is named Chaos. They just got a dub, and y'all just got a dub for that interview.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, good luck. Good job by the Chaos.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan Herndon, #Ask Crane and Company, wants to know how much did Belichick's defense help Tom Brady win Super Bowl?
It obviously helps.
Yeah.
The Patriots, to me, were a defensive team. I mean, you can say what you want. They're a defensive team. But we all know when it came down to it and it mattered the most and they had to have the drive to win or they had to get in position to be able to kick the field goal because Adam Vinatieri could just close his eyes and make it from anywhere. Tom was the golden one. They actually dipped him fully into the lake, not like Achilles. There is no Achilles. They dipped him full into the lake, and he's immortalized.
Yeah, obviously it helped a lot. And it's not just the defenses they had. Imagine how much Tom Brady learned about defense and how to scheme a defense by playing for Bill Belichick, especially those first 3. And if he only won those first 3 Super Bowls and he retired in 2012 or 2010, like I said, it'd be a conversation.
They'd have welcomed you into Valhalla.
Playing 20 years later, and he won a Super Bowl now without Bill Belichick, and then later in those other 4 that he ended up winning with the Patriots, the numbers just speak for themselves. Everything he's done has spoken for itself. So, what more can you do?
That's exactly right. Well, I'll tell you what you can do. If you want to watch the rest of this show, remember, you can listen here. But if you want to watch it, head over to thedailywire.com, become a member, or listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you subscribe and leave a 5-star review. It's the right thing to do, and share it with your friends. We'll be right back. SEC versus Big 12 football challenge. Who would win? What's up, everybody? Thanks for staying with us. Flaming Dragon, how's it going over there?
It's going great. How's it going over there?
It's going good.
Okay, do y'all want a question from Cody Nason, 95?
I think you should.
Okay, #Ask Crane Boys. Who do you think deserves the AL MVP after the first half of the season?
Aaron Judge.
You think so?
Aaron Judge. I mean, like I said, he's the judge, jury, and executioner right now. I mean, look, Shohei we know is unbelievable. There's some other guys you can put in there that are having really good years. So what Aaron's done and what the Yankees have done, at least early in the season as we get to the All-Star break, I think you got to give it to Aaron Judge.
Okay, Cone, DeSantis, could you strike DeSantis out in the batter's box?
Look, I'm going to sit here and say yes. We're talking hypotheticals. But, mostly if we can just get that invite, to stay steady there, to go down and play golf.
To keep it steady?
I want to keep it nice and steady.
Look, we'll keep it nice and steady.
Whatever, if I need to just throw some balloon balls up there let Governor hit a couple
shots. You think I could get in Governor DeSantis' head on the tee box?
I would say let's get in his head. Yes, but let's no.
You're right, not a good decision.
But let's,
I don't know. I feel like he'd be cool about it.
You think so?
I would.
What would your strategy be?
No, just, it's kind of like when Michael Jordan was following Ian Poulter around during the Ryder Cup trying to get in his head. I'm not going to be, heckling him or anything, like, miss it, or anything like that. It's
not a Happy Gilmore situation.
I'm just going to be like, hey, you look lined up a little left there. Like you play, just the little subtle things that maybe put that little thought in your head.
Don't forget about that second bunker.
Yeah, it's like, wow, man, the yardage was wrong.
I'd rather just hit him on a post pattern. We can all be on the same team.
There you go. It's a touchdown for everybody.
All right, Connor Weaver, #Ask the Crane Boys, including Cone. How do you think BYU will do this year, and will they beat Arkansas at home?
I think they're going to, look, I love what BYU has going. I love Kalani Sitake, the head coach over there. I do not believe they're going to beat Arkansas, though. I'm high on Arkansas, but I do like BYU. Again, when you have a bunch of 30-year-olds, I expect you to be a lot more disciplined than everybody else. But offensively, I'm interested to see obviously how they operate. Are they going to be more explosive this year offensively? I never worry about their physicality. I mean, BYU stays with a guy at defensive end pretty much every year. They've got some sort of freak show that's coming out there. I don't think it's going to be an elite year for BYU, and I don't think they beat Arkansas. But I love the BYU question.
Unless Steve Young's suiting up, which I don't think.
Or Zach Wilson.
Or Zach Wilson.
He's too busy over there hitting on all the moms.
He learned how to ride with the fear.
Yeah, he learned how to ride with the fear.
All right, Brian Bailey says, you can't have an SEC versus Big Ten football challenge and not have Nebraska playing Missouri, hated rivals from back in the day.
Look, I'm not the one who made it. That's a great
What about
segue.
Nebraska, Oklahoma?
That's a great segue, Brian. Let's go ahead and put this up.
Nice segue, though.
That was a very nice segue. So, Fox College Football, they released, if there was a Big Ten SEC challenge. So, we have the SEC Big 12 challenge of basketball, which I love. I love seeing that. What if we had one in football? So if you take all the teams and you were to match them up together, like we have on your screen, what would the overall record be? Which conference would win, and how many games would it be? I'll start us off. I've got the SEC going 12-4 because there's always going to be a loss in there you didn't expect. Georgia, Michigan, I'm taking Georgia. Bama, Ohio State, which will be the national championship game this year, I'm going to take Bama. Michigan State, Oklahoma was really weird for me. All right, I love the Thorne kid that Michigan State has. I'm big on Mel, but I like Venables. I went through the whole diatribe yesterday. I like Venables, coming together, Giants, help us God. You know how it goes. Kentucky and Iowa in the game that nobody really wants to see. I like Kentucky because I don't believe Brian, I don't believe in Ferentz's offense. I just don't. To me, it's absolutely vanilla ice cream. It's absolute peanut butter without the jelly. It's not even Nutella. Y'all need to figure it out. I got Wisconsin beating Ole Miss. Okay? I feel like Wisconsin, with those big white guys they got coming out of the old caves up there, I think Wisconsin, Graham Mertz, I got a feeling he's going to be a little bit better last year. It's going to be hard to be as bad as he was last year. 4-star coming out. He's let a lot of people down like a hot air balloon with a hole in it. So I'm going to go Wisconsin over Ole Miss. I got Arkansas just absolutely firing cannons on the boat. That thing will sink quicker than just about anything. Then Purdue and Tennessee, which I believe we saw this in a bowl game last year. Unless I'm just absolutely losing my mind. I'm big on Purdue this year. I got them winning the Big Ten West, but they're not beating Hendon Hooker and Tennessee. Josh Heupel in year 2. Defense has a little more depth. I think Tennessee wins that game. A&M's beating UCLA. I got Penn State beating South Carolina. I'm sorry, love Shane, but the roster's not there yet. Maryland, Mississippi State, I almost went Maryland. Here, but I realized that would be considered a big game for them, and they absolutely are on the back of a milk carton when it comes down to big games. Rutgers, LSU would be the ass beating of a lifetime. I've got Missouri and Drink beating Illinois, even though Brett Bielema did a lot better last year than I thought he was going to be. I think it's a perfect hire for them. I got USC beating Texas, fellas. I do have USC beating Texas. Auburn beating Northwestern, hopefully. And remember, these aren't one-off bowl games. These are games that would matter. So this isn't the, Meineke Car Care or the I don't give a crap.com bowl. And then I got Nebraska losing to Florida. I do. Scotty Frost, sorry. Think your time's up.
Right.
And then Indiana plays Vanderbilt in the game that no one watched.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat things just because I played in the Big Ten.
Speak your truth.
This is a bloodbath. The most generous I could be was 11-4-1. Okay,
11-4-1.
Michigan and Georgia. Let me break it down for you. Okay, Michigan, Georgia. We saw that experiment pass. Okay, Alabama, Ohio. I think would be the most interesting game on here. I think that realistically, this could be the national championship, Jake, this year. I agree with you on that, but I'm going to take Alabama. Michigan State. I thought about this one. I'm going to give Sparty the win here.
Okay,
I'm going to give Sparty the win. Peyton Thorne coming back. I'm going to give Sparty the win here. Kentucky wins. I don't agree with you on Wisconsin, Ole Miss, even though I think it could be a great game. Wisconsin could win it. I'm going to go Ole Miss. I'm going to go Razorbacks. I have Purdue, Tennessee as the second most interesting game in this matchup right here. I think Tennessee would get the win, though. A&M beats UCLA. I'm going to go Penn State for the Big Ten there, beating the Gamecocks, and then Mississippi State, LSU, and then my tie is Illinois, Missouri. I think it's just a 0-0 tie. I don't like what. Play 10 times. I think it's just 0-0. I'm going to go Southern Cal too.
Nice.
I don't know. It's a coin flip, but I'm going to go Southern Cal if they were to play this season. Let's see what happens. Auburn beating Northwestern. Blaine, I want to hear your thoughts on this one in a second, but I'm going to go ahead and give that to the Tigers. Florida beats Nebraska, and then I'm going to give Indiana the win against Vandy.
I love where your head. So really, you just had where we were different. You just had Michigan State beating Oklahoma, where I had Wisconsin beating Ole Miss. And to be honest with you, Michigan State, Oklahoma may be the best game on here.
Oh, that'd be.
I know Alabama, Ohio State, But, you know, I think Bama's going to beat him. I think they may beat him by double digits.
I mean, Michigan State scrapping.
Okay, let me tell you what it's going to be. All right, it's going to be the SEC 14. 14-2.
It could happen.
And that was generous in my opinion. That was generous. We've seen Georgia, Michigan. I'm not watching this again. Michigan, you played good, but you're just not good enough. Alabama, Ohio State, be the battle of the gridirons, the best. I think Oklahoma wins this game more than people think. I'm not a huge believer in Michigan State. I'm going to be honest.
Why not?
I just don't think their defense is that good at all. Like, when it comes down to it, Oklahoma, and you got to go back, they lost their best running back to the draft. You can't. I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to replace that. You have experience in the quarterback position, but I still don't believe that defense. I feel like that defense was decent, but not as good as what people think they are. I'd have Oklahoma in this game, and I wouldn't mind watching this Kentucky-Iowa game. I would definitely take the under. That's for sure. I was probably 14.5, but I think Kentucky is just better at what Iowa wants to do. I do think that. I think Ole Miss will probably kill Wisconsin.
You think with their defense? With their defense?
It doesn't matter. He doesn't coach offense.
Don't be
I know this. He doesn't coach offense, and their offense is anemic at best. They're going to have a good back, but I'm sorry. You can only be so good long on defense against the Lane Kiffin coach offense.
Well,
they're going to
be
score
played?
points.
If it was at Wisconsin, they have a shot.
Neutral site.
They're going to score points, and you have
Neutral site in the dome.
You have to be able to run with Ole Miss. Like, that's how you beat Ole Miss. You have to be able to run with them. Arkansas will kill Minnesota, especially this year. This will be a great game. Purdue, Tennessee, lean to the quarterback room, and that's Tennessee and Hendon Hooker, what Josh Heupel has. Purdue doesn't see stuff like that. That up-tempo offense like that.
They saw it last year.
Against who?
Tennessee? Yeah, against Tennessee, wasn't it? In the bowl game?
Yeah.
And who won that game?
I thought Purdue. Hold on, let me look it up.
Yeah, what's the score?
Y'all keep going.
Okay. I remember watching that. I was in Tuscaloosa with Reed, and I think I had bet on Tennessee, and I was just consistently getting sick because
year two is a little different when had a returning experience. Texas A&M, UCLA, I don't think that game would be close. I think Penn State's just a better overall football team. In South Carolina, Mississippi State with Will Rogers. Maryland's defense is terrible. They're giving up 40 points a game. Mississippi State might score 80 against them. LSU, I don't know, Rutgers, why would they even show up to the stadium? Because that would just be an absolute murder. Of Rutgers versus LSU, good luck. That game's over before it started. Then you got Illinois, Missouri. Let's go drink. I'm just going to go with my boy Drink. These teams are the Spider-Man GIF just staring at each other. But I still think Missouri's a better team. USC versus Texas. This was tough for me. So I did just pick Texas to win the Big 12. But I still think USC.
So we all picked USC.
Yeah, we all picked USC. And I had to do everything in my power. Everything in my power to convince myself that Auburn was going to win this game. Auburn will be up 28-10 at halftime and win 30. They'll win by 3. Yeah. I don't know, some crazy special teams thing like we'll drop a punt, overthrow a guy, they'll return a kick.
It's so true,
and that's what would happen. But we would find a way. We'd go down with 1 minute left and then just freak out and throw a pass up and catch it and win the game. All right, then Florida, Nebraska, Scott Frost. Don't believe it, never believe in it. Some players just aren't good at coaching. Look in the mirror, that's you. Right, then Vanderbilt, Indiana. I'm going to roll with my boys from Vandy. That's what I'm going to do.
Wow.
They don't get enough respect. Indiana's terrible. Indiana will be just as bad as Vanderbilt if you put them in the SEC. Give me the boys from Vandy. A little bit more physicality on defense. Turnover gang.
Please
they have
stop.
2 defensive touchdowns.
Turnover gang.
Go play UConn.
Why do you keep Dr. Strange?
Because this is your situation. By the way,
Dr. Strange, are you trying to send me to another dimension?
Because I've been hanging out with you too much at lunch.
Telling me on audio what you mean by he was Dr. Strange.
Purdue beat Tennessee 48-45 in overtime in the Music City Bowl last December.
Music City Bowl, regular
Don't be talking to me about blowouts.
The defense has to play better. Purdue, if you're giving up 45 to Purdue, I can get 10 guys together and at least give up 21.
Hey, let's be honest though. Like the Music City, everybody sing together.com bowl, and then like a regular season.
Purdue was banged up too.
Oh, they were banged up.
Were they banged a lot of guys out.
Were they banged up?
Wide out.
But Blaine,
were they banged up though?
Explain on audio how Cohn was Dr.
Well, he was looking at me, has 2 fingers together, and he's moving in the circle. My chair started going through the ground. I was about to go into another dimension over here. As you know, I'm arguing with Thanos.
Oh, what does the Booster Club say? I need to say.
Cal Kennedy says SEC 13-3, Penn State, USC, and Indiana are the Big Ten wins.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this.
I could see it.
I'm sick of this Vanderbilt disrespect.
They've done nothing to earn anybody's respect.
They try hard.
Every other day.
So does my washing machine.
Every other day until this day, you've been talking about how Vanderbilt needs to get kicked out of the SEC. You're talking about Vanderbilt disrespect all the time.
What show am I on? Because I've literally just been here with Jon Snow with an army attacking me with one sword trying to defend Vanderbilt. But now I'm just against him.
Maybe it was Jake.
What am I, Boromir?
Oh, it was definitely me. Yeah, that's such a Boromir thing for you to see.
Now I'm Boromir.
This whole time I thought you were my Sam Wise. Turns out you're just Boromir.
I don't even know these Pokemon characters. I'm a different one every day to you, Blaine.
Well, you're always Squirtle.
That's Lord of the Rings. But all right, we're not gonna,
No, I thought it was Pokemon.
we're not going to get in it. All right, Hunter Thorpe, Hunter, and happy late birthday. I know we told you birthday. Iowa would murk Auburn, and it wouldn't be close.
What?
I was with the offense. Iowa has you can't beat anybody more than 21.
Yeah, like you're not scoring.
21's like winning by 50 if you're Iowa.
Like that begs a question here that I was going to ask. What if could we reorder these matchups in a way that
like the
Big
best
Ten,
matchup,
like the best matchups to where it could be even, or the Big Ten?
Can we pull it back up?
The graphic back up. Let's pull the graphic back up. Let's just play a game of everybody find out. So to me, I think you leave Georgia, Michigan, because
Cone's like, whoa.
Yeah. Alabama, Ohio State.
Can we get Vandy,
You don't
please?
touch. You don't touch. I think you go Michigan State and LSU. I think you go Wisconsin and Arkansas.
Yeah, I like that.
You go A&M and Michigan State.
Auburn and
I
Penn State already played.
I want Michigan and LSU.
You want Michigan and LSU?
I want Michigan
and
LSU.
That'd be nice.
That'd be
nice.
How about Ole Miss UCLA?
I would not hate that at all. What if you went South Carolina, Minnesota? I think would be a really, really good game.
I think
Purdue and USC Purdue. Yeah, and you might as well say it. USC now because they're going to the Big Ten.
Well, but Purdue's in the Big Ten, so.
I'm sorry. Texas and Purdue. I'm losing.
Yeah,
my
or
mind.
Texas, Tennessee
and
would be cool.
Sark versus Braum. I like that matchup. The mind mouthing.
Yeah. I'm trying to see because I'm trying to do the math now. Which ones are coming in?
You could have Vandy and
Rutgers.
Vandy and Rutgers.
Now we're talking.
Who can be worse?
Let's be honest. Vandy and Nebraska.
No,
come on.
Let's be honest.
Nebraska.
Let's be honest. You're that comfortable about
Nebraska.
it?
Now you're being disrespectful.
I feel good about it.
Really?
I feel good.
I bet that. What do you think that spread would be?
That
14?
spread would be
Nebraska Vanderbilt
14.
5.5.
5.5?
5.5. Close.
You feel comfortable about it? It's a one possession game.
I feel comfortable about it.
I would say Vanderbilt, Nebraska. The spread would be Nebraska. I agree with you. I think it's minus 14.5.
Oh, you think it's 2 touchdowns for Nebraska?
Yeah, I think it's 2 touchdowns.
That's not good though. If you're Nebraska, you're fired.
Well, I think
if you're only a 2 touchdown favorite against Vandy, you're fired.
But speaking about fired, since it is Flaming Dragon Friday, and I'm looking directly at my brother.
Have you called me Blaine today?
I have not. I don't think I have. Or you didn't hear it.
This is Flaming Dragon.
We decided we would pick our top 3 dragons of all time. Now, this can be any dragon from anywhere. All right? And this was tough for me. Big dragons guy. I'm going to find one day. There's going to be gold coins all around him. For number 3, I'm going to go 3-1. 1 being the best dragon. Number 3, Spyro. How are you not going to put Spyro on here?
What's that?
It's a video game. Cone, you're a time traveler, right? You're a time traveler. You got to be. You're a time traveler that came here from like 1826.
What system was it?
It was like Nintendo 64 or Nintendo 64.
Sounds fun.
You know what
Game
Spyro is?
You don't know who Spyro is? What
do you really
dragon?
know about like
what games did y'all play? Like Pong or something?
What game did you play?
Pong. We were playing Pong. We were playing, NCAA.
Were you playing like find a bunch of rocks and put them together? Is that the game you played?
We're playing Paperboy. I showed you the high score. Showed you the high score.
Paperboy is a great game.
You definitely
7th all time.
You told me like 16 times.
Cone's like playing Snake on the.
It's like, hey, I don't know if you know, but I have like the 7th.
I don't have a lot of video game wins. Blaine, all right?
Look, hey, I celebrate all wins over here.
Flaming Dragon.
I celebrate all wins over here.
Yeah. Cone, watch your mouth. I don't want to catch on fire in here. So I'd Spyro 3. The number 2. I had our good friend Coach Brian Vincent in UAB because if you look at UAB's mascot logo, it's a dragon breathing fire. They're the Blazers. Why are they the Blazers? Because they breathe fire. They're blazing you. And what blazes you? What breathes fire? A dragon or a fireplace that's alive. And I would much rather find a fireplace that's alive. But number 1, hands down, there's no way you 2 guys are topping this. The number 1 dragon is Big Earl from Starsky and Hutch. Play the clip.
Look, I like you guys, okay? Especially you, okay? Don't feel bad about that. I like you guys, so I'll tell you where it is. But first, I need to see something, okay? And it's gonna involve both of you. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna get weird. 2 dragons.
There is no better dragon
than Big Earl. You want to find what happened? You want to find out what happened? You want to find out who's running that drug trafficking ring? Whatever, who's breathing the real fire? You go down to the state penitentiary and you talk to Big Earl, but you're going to have to earn it.
Seems like a pretend dragon to me.
What about y'all two?
Seems like a pretend dragon to me. I thought we were doing real dragons. You want me to go?
That's a real dragon. You bite your tongue, sir.
All right, I'll bite my tongue. Look, here's how this played out earlier today after we decided to do this. I called my boy DC3, right, who I knew is in the know on the dragon situation. And he's a big Game of Thrones fan. I said, Dave, we're doing top 3 dragons. Here's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the top 3 dragons from Game of Thrones.
Love to see it.
He said, whoa, no. Don't do that. I said, what do you mean? I said, Drogon. He said, no. They're better dragons. I said, okay, help me out here. I had to really phone a friend situation on this one, okay?
I find it.
So number 3, I do have Drogon from Game of Thrones, the biggest one, right? The one who not Viserion who died and became the White Walker or whatever. Yeah, we don't talk about him. Drogon. Then number 2, we got Smaug from The Hobbit. Okay?
He's a sap.
Yeah.
You didn't even know who Boromir was, yet you're going to pick the dragon from Lord of the Rings?
Hey,
Doctor Strange and you, dude.
Don't interrupt me.
Okay,
don't interrupt me.
Don't come in here with a coat on.
And then number 1, my number 1 dragon after my phone a friend from...
You got this.
Yu-Gi-Oh! How does it?
Oh my God! Run with it, David. Just say it as a
Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Come on,
number
baby.
1.
Come on.
All of his excellence at being a dragon.
Of course,
a real dragon.
Of course, the most privileged dragon.
A Yu-Gi-Oh!
White dragon.
Okay, this might be my favorite segment we've done ever in the history of this show. First of all, David, well done. Shout out DC3. The man knows his dragons.
Oh yeah.
Okay, number 3, I'm going to come in with also the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And if you have 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon, you connect them together, you make 1 mega Blue Eyes White Dragon. But episode 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh!, he pulls out 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Next thing you know, you have the 5 cards.
Okay, stop nerding out.
All right, number 2, I'm going Charizard. Ever since I was young, I made a decision in my life that I was an alpha. And you're an alpha when you take Charizard. When you go with the Fire Clan. And that's what we did.
Is that Pokemon?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is, David. That was the loudest whisper I ever heard in my life. And number 1, the best dragon of them all. This one wasn't hard for me. I just walked in the bathroom and looked in the mirror. It's me.
What is that? What is that?
They put Blaine's face on Mushu Mulan.
Now, our entire control room's on fire. It's going to be burned to the ground. And some people are going to have to answer for some things I didn't know about this.
Oh,
anyways, let's go to bets.
Yeah, no, actually, let's leave this picture up there for a second. Just have everybody look at it.
I'm proud that I have overlap with you on this with the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Look,
I know you know your dragons.
Look, episode 2 Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a great episode.
Yeah. Anyways, so last night, Blake Snell got 5 strikeouts, and you decided to look me in the eyes and just not be able to throw a strike. So I appreciate that, and also I'll never forgive you. So, but I will say I did hit my Nerfy bet. Why don't I just bet Nerfies all the time?
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to do it today. Or I'm going to bet 1 Nerfy because I'm an idiot. Look at me, camera, look at this.
It's like the Cardinals are the worst, but
yes, yeah. All right. So here's what we got: Astros -1.5, +110. Let's go. Pittsburgh.
Nice. That was dope.
Would you stop?
That was dope. Oh, nice ball, kid.
All right, then I got Pirates, Rockies, Nerfy, +125. It's still a double dog bet, Cone. I look to my left, it's a dog. I look to my right, it's a dog. Nice. I feel like I'm at the pound right now.
Nice find on the dog Nerfy there.
Thank you.
Yeah. I like that. You ready for mine?
Yeah, you pull
got a couple interesting ones here.
Got over there.
I'm going to go a full Atlanta slate here. I want Braves money line.
Okay.
Plus the under. Same game parlay here, under at 9.5, and that's going off at +205. We need wins, but we also need the unit game to come up because I'm tired of you running away with it over there, to be honest.
Whoa.
Yeah. Quite frankly.
Whoa. You're playing
I want to make it competitive
Flaming Dragon.
So if that's going to happen, then let's go ahead and have Ian Anderson get the win at +150.
I got a question, but I'm going to ask it after the show.
Why?
Because I don't want to look dumb when I ask it.
Now you have to hit me.
No, I'll never ask.
Come on.
I'm actually afraid for him to ask this question, Cone, so maybe get it.
All right.
Okay, this is what I'm taking. The Mets, I'm not surprised. No one likes it.
You're 17-7. You're
not good enough.
You're the PGA golfer.
It's the GIF of the new
the GIF.
Don't walk down this road with me, David.
Listen, it's Flaming Dragon Friday, David. Calm down.
The new Star Wars Vader guy. When he's sitting there, he's more.
Yeah.
More. That's what I need. It's not good enough. I need 2-0.
Kylo Ren?
Kylo Ren. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Now I'm disappointed in myself.
You like the PJ
I'm going
Carver?
double Nerfies, all right? We're going Milwaukee Brewers. Let's say San Francisco Giants. Jock Peterson, please just don't do it in the first inning. Just don't. I'm not worried about that. These teams are probably the worst 2 teams in MLB in scoring the first inning. I look it up statistically. They are. So this is what I'm going. I probably might have jinxed myself, but I don't care at this point. His luck doesn't matter. It's all skill. All right, give me the Marlins and the Phillies. Nerfy. Got a couple good arms on the mounds. Guys, let's go out there. Let's see some pitches. Let's really not figure it out until we get into the second round of the lineup.
I like that. Baby Cone, he's going Tigers. Cleveland baseball team. I almost did it. Nerfy minus 120. Then he wants Mariners money line. They're just steering the ship to the win. Minus 155. Baby Cone coming back. 48 on the month. Have a big day, boys. Now, I got a good feeling, but I don't want to say that. Let's erase that from the record because I don't want to jinx it.
Do we have 2 things? Do we have best of?
Yes, I think we do have.
Don't know if we do. Not today.
I don't know. Maybe not today. We'll put it on social.
I thought I saw it.
It's going out on social.
It's going out on social.
Okay.
Weekly highlight coming later.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. I was excited.
All right, booster bets. Steve-O's BSB bet 6-0. Marlins money line. JT Bryan 91's 5-0. He wants that Brewers San Francisco Nerfy, Blaine, y'all are together.
Oh, no.
Kyle Jenkins 4-0. He wants Mets Cubs Nerfy minus 103.
Okay.
Nate Dogg 2022's 4-0. He wants the Brewers in San Francisco.
No!
I'm just kidding. He wants the Astros.
Okay. Don't do that to me.
All right, but Cody Nason does want them. No, I'm just kidding. He wants. He's 2-0. He wants the Red Sox Yankees over 8 runs. And welcome Ty J. Rutherford to the Booster Club. He's 1-0. He wants Braves Nats anti Nerfy first inning minus 129. Then Dragon B Flamin'. He wants the Yankees first 5 money line. Barner Burner, welcome to the fam. He wants Justin Thomas and Will Zalatoris money line over Justin Thomas in round 2. Then Midnight Crane to Georgia. He's 0-4. It's tough to do, but good job. He wants the Mets Cubs over 9 runs. And then our buddy Brendan Moore at B Moore CFB is 0-4. He wants Puebla Leon over 2.5 goals at minus 142. Ooh. Congrats on not betting baseball. I probably should have taken that advice myself. Blaine, parting thoughts or anything that's tickling the Dragon's tail from the Booster Club over there?
Cody Neeson says Blaine is going to Nerfy his way to a 30-win July.
Whoa.
That'd be nice. What's the most wins in a month?
I don't know, but not 30.
Something in April.
You had 30-something?
I don't know. It was a lot.
What are we doing next week, fellas?
You know what we're doing, guys?
Oh, yeah. Tell them what we're doing next week.
Surprise, surprise. We're going to SEC Media Days in Atlanta, and it's actually in the College Football Hall of Fame, coming full circle a little bit. We're going to be there. Great interviews with coaches, players, media personalities. We're going to have a great time. We're going to be there the whole week, and we have a big announcement coming up with a big-time NIL group that is having a heck of an event. We're going to start really, really talking about that as we get into next week and a little bit this weekend. So if you like football, SEC football, we're going to be down there, so make sure you're subbed on everything, TikTok, all that stuff. We appreciate Governor Ron DeSantis for coming on.
Yes.
Heck of an interview. Excited to get him back on and maybe go down there and play a little golf. But
1 second.
Oh, go ahead, Blaine.
Oh, so what do we do in
Put
the
a poll?
shows? What do we do in the show?
Put a poll?
Polls.
Put a poll?
You got a poll?
Let's get the pulse on the Booster Club.
Okay.
Will Tom Brady, the chosen one, the King's son, win another Super Bowl?
Okay, so do you want me to go first here? Because full disclosure, I voted in this poll.
I don't know, David, do you want to go first? Or do you want to go second? Well, you put the thumb out.
I want to go first.
Okay, then go.
Okay.
Will Tom Brady win another Super Bowl?
I voted in this poll, but it's not compromised because I have no idea. Stop moving your arm at me. Tom Brady will win another Super Bowl, but just barely in the Booster Club at, say, 53%.
Ooh. I'm going to say no.
All right, well, there.
It doesn't
Thanks
matter.
for saying it like that.
Yes.
45. No, 50.
Gary, so hairy.
So it was close. All right, well, y'all bet against Tom Brady at your own will. Then.
And well, guess what? I told you he was, and maybe even going to win multiple. So not only do I not believe that, and I'm right, but I also got the poll right, and they were
Josh Allen.
Well, you know what? Well done. Happy Friday.
Hey, happy Friday.
Absolutely.
All right, we appreciate you guys. And remember, SEC Media Days got a great Saturday special tomorrow as well. And like the chances of us not going to the greatest media days they've ever had, we're going, gone.